Welcome to Next Step Tales. Today's story is about trust, patience, and the rewards of honesty. Let's dive into the tale of the king and the seed. In a distant kingdom, there lived a wise king. He was getting older, and the time had come to choose a successor. But instead of picking someone from his court or his family, the king decided to do something different. He wanted to find a leader who was not only skilled, but also honest. One morning, he gathered all the children of the kingdom in the palace courtyard. The kids were filled with excitement, buzzing with curiosity about what was about to happen. The king, standing tall before them, smiled and said, "I have a challenge for you, my dear children. I will give each of you a single seed. You must take this seed home, plant it, and care for it. In 6 months, return to the palace with your plant, and I will choose one of you to be the next ruler." The children cheered. They ran home with their seeds, eager to grow the biggest, most beautiful plant. Among them was a boy named Leo. He took his seed home with great enthusiasm, planted it in a pot, and watered it carefully every day. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. But to Leo's despair, the seed didn't sprout. He watered it daily, made sure it got sunlight, and even whispered words of encouragement to it. Yet, nothing happened. The pot remained barren, while his friends bragged about how tall their plants had grown. Leo's heart sank. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, he thought. He even considered buying a new seed to replace the one that wouldn't grow. But deep down, he knew it wouldn't be right. So, with a heavy heart, he decided to stick with the empty pot. 6 months passed quickly, and it was time for the children to return to the palace. Leo felt embarrassed and ashamed as he carried his empty pot to the courtyard. All around him, the other children had lush plants tall and vibrant with colorful flowers. Leo stood quietly in the back, trying to hide his pot. The king arrived, gazing upon the many beautiful plants. He smiled at the children's efforts, but then his eyes fell upon Leo, standing with nothing but his bare pot. The king walked up to him, and the crowd fell silent. "What happened here, young man?" the king asked, his voice soft but commanding. Leo trembled, his hands shaking as he spoke. "Your Majesty, I did everything I could. I watered the seed every day, made sure it had sunlight, but it just wouldn't grow." He looked down, feeling tears of shame welling in his eyes. The king paused for a moment, and then, to everyone's shock, he smiled brightly. "My dear children," he announced, "the time has come for me to choose the next ruler. And that ruler is Leo." The children gasped, unable to believe what they had just heard. Leo, with his empty pot. Confused whispers filled the courtyard. The king raised his hand, and silence returned. He turned to the crowd and explained, "6 months ago, I gave you all boiled seeds that could not grow. I wanted to see who would be honest enough to bring back an empty pot. Everyone else replaced their seeds, except for Leo. He alone had the courage to be truthful, and that is the mark of a true leader." The crowd stood in stunned silence, and then, slowly, applause began to fill the air. Leo stood tall, his heart swelling with pride as he realized that his honesty, not the plant, had made him the king's choice. Conclusion. This story teaches us that success isn't always about having the biggest or most beautiful result. Sometimes, the greatest victory comes from being honest, even when it's hard. Leo could have chosen the easy path, but he stayed true to himself, and in the end, his patience and honesty were rewarded. So, ask yourself, what seeds of truth can you plant in your life today? Remember, even when things don't seem to grow, sometimes the greatest growth happens inside you. Thank you for watching Next Step Tales.